Hi, everybody. It is another Friday night, and well, it's Friday night with Allison. It's Friday evening with me. I'm still getting used to that weird 3 hour. It's only 3 hours, but it's enough to kind of like throw you off a little bit with everybody's schedule.
Oh yeah, 3 hours is a chunk of time.
So, it is 5 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock Allison's, and hello, Shelby, my dear. Thanks for being here. I kind of have to go week by week. Usually Fridays are good because if I have anything, appointments or stuff and whatnot, we're usually done and home by 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the evening this time here, to be able to do a regular show. And Nancy and I are going to try to get to doing a show on Monday. So stay tuned. There may be a Divine Feminine in the works. Hopefully, I will know. I'll probably set it up maybe over the weekend. And in the event something comes up, because we filled out an application for an apartment yesterday. So we have a small list and we were hoping to hear back today. We didn't, so Monday we have to call. So I would like to say tentatively there will be or should I say sacred feminine, because we changed it to sacred feminine within. And so stay tuned. And Isadora is here, and Delphi Ross. Hello, Delphi. It is good to see you. And let's see, I'm on my table, so it's easier to do this. Hello, Shelby, and Isadora, and we got Delphi. So, and Allison is broadcasting from the South American jungle. Um, I was teasing her in the beginning. I was like, "Ooh, look at all your plants," and I was like, "Ooh, welcome to the jungle." So, just having a little bit of fun. But she's looking for homes for her lovely little plants. But I told her it's beautiful. It's as green as indoors as in her place as it is outdoors here where I'm at. So,
It's
but they
definitely green here. It's too green.
and
That's the only issue.
there's Selena. Ooh, where'd she
And I'm
go?
only getting rid of some of
Hi,
them. Not
Selena.
I don't like
Too much.
to be crowded by anything. Yeah, and the plants are just starting to take over. I
That
don't like
Shan.
clutter. I
Hmm.
don't yeah. Yeah.
Me, I like things kind of like cozy and kind of wrapping around and
It's
just
very cozy here. My home is very zen. But you can have too many plants. Just like you can have too much of anything.
yeah. Like too many art
You
supplies.
should be able to
Never.
dust all surfaces, in my opinion, and all of that. And yeah,
So, they started to doing some prescribed burnings. We got a little nervous when we were leaving Medford yesterday, and we could see smoke coming out of the some of the hills, and it's actually right out here, in our hills here. I don't know if it's Mount Ashland, but it's one of the hills here, and it's a prescribed burn. And I still feel bad, and I sent energy, and protective light and stuff to the nature, that is going to be negatively affected. Prescribed burnings are necessary to help control the possibility of a really bad forest fire, but it's burning, and it's causing an adverse reaction to a lot of habitat for and animals and insects and things. So I was still sending my energy out to those in the area. Um, but otherwise we've been having gorgeous weather. I mean, when they say, Southern Oregon, it's the climate. It sure is. Since we've been here, we've had a few rainy days, but even those days, with the clouds hanging low on the mountains, it's been beautiful. We've been having blue skies, anywhere ranging between, a little chilly in the morning, but then by in the afternoon, we have, depending on if we're in Medford or we're in Ashland, we have like 77 degrees, maybe 80, and even 80 doesn't feel that hot here. So it's nice, very nice. And
it's a
then we
great
get
time
off.
of year to move there. You get
It
to enjoy the
is,
spring.
and it smells so good with all the flower. The lilacs are gone now, pretty much, but there's other flowers, and I just love being able to drive or just sit out and hear the ravens cawing and stuff. I was at the cemetery that's down the street today, just to get outside and give Shan and I some, space time together. and just took off my socks and sat on the ground by the tree and just, anybody whose headstone I was by, I was just like, hello, just me. I'm not going, no disrespect. I'm just sitting here enjoying the beautiful peace and the quiet and stuff, and did a little bit of sketching and just feeling that nice breeze, smelling that fresh air, hearing the crows cawing and stuff. I mean, or the ravens, excuse me. Even saw a hawk fly over, and I was actually driving, and one just went right over in front of my car and landed up to the side. And I'm like, I go, maybe there's a message coming. Maybe the apartment, good news is coming. So we'll see. And so yeah, everybody, really quick, we filled out an application. Our second one, the first one is for the snowberry, but they're they're a 1 to 4 year waiting list. So because a lot of people want to get in there. So we went ahead and we filled out an application for a place nearby on a street called Weimer. And we should know by Monday. We'll give them a call and see if the person before us, viewed the apartment and took it. And if not, then we'll be allowed to take a look at it. So we've got 60 days here, but it's time is starting to, it's a little bit of a tick tock. So a lot of other places we've been applying to already have like anywhere between three to I think one had like 10 people already, ahead of us. So yeah, just trying to stay calm, put the good juju out there that the right one will come as it when it's supposed to. And we've been joined by Michelle Marie. Hello, Michelle. Love to you, Jonathan and Rosie. Um, Michelle had to move again. Her and Jonathan and Rosie had to leave Mexico. So hope you find a perfect forever home too. Michelle, you and Rod. Oh, from Jalisco. So you found a place, Jalisco. I don't know where that is, but it sounds like it's still in Mexico. And no, yeah, no snow, but you know what? It's going to be so beautiful, Isadora, when it does snow here later this year. I've seen the pictures. It's like a winter wonderland here, especially during Christmas time with the old city lights and everything. And I didn't know if you were here in Ashland area to get to see that when you passed through, Allison, but I'm excited to
I
see
was
what's
there for
there.
the Shakespeare Festival
Okay, but were you
festival.
here for the snow? Did you see the
Yeah, it
snow
was
around
in
you
Christmas
during?
time.
Okay, because the most is like during the summer is when the Shakespeare Festival really they said
Oh,
gets
well, then I'm blending them together because we were there for the Shakespeare Festival. We went there for Christmas twice. No, just once. Yes, I was there in the winter because the whole lobby is decorated very Victorian style at the Ashland
Mhm.
Hotel, and it was beautiful. I have pictures. And we were there for actually is the festival. I could have sworn the festival was in the winter. It's in the summer.
Well, I heard that's the busiest time is the Elizabethan with all the different chamber music and the acting, but it could very well go to up into that part.
I
It
don't
could.
know. We were there for a
We'll find out.
Shakespeare thing, and we were there at Christmas time too. And we stayed. I think we stayed there 3 different times, but we're going back probably almost 15 years. So I don't remember exactly.
Okay. And Shelby says, "Is it heavy populated?" I can't remember how many people. It's not as populated as Medford, but there are quite a few people here. They're really like nestled in the mountains. There's what blew my mind was when we were going and driving around using my GPS to find these streets where these properties were. One of them took us into downtown Ashland, and or it's known as the Plaza, and the roads, people live on these like precipices on the hillside, and going up these roads were like
It's
that.
very
And
wealthy. It's beautiful.
I when I got up there, my ears were kind of popping a little bit. I was getting a little nauseated. I'm like, oh boy, this is not
Hmm.
going to be where Heather wants to stay.
Yeah, but you
um
acclimate to it. when
but
you it's the elevation. You're just not used to it.
so it's yeah, it's beautiful, and the people, and then for me, I'm more or like I love the houses you see on the outskirts when you're coming in off of Interstate 5, and you see some of these beautiful large homes and the beautiful vistas and views that they have of the
Yeah. It's the whole area is just lovely.
so but yep, working on getting a place. So Allison and I haven't really talked much this week. So what you been up to, girl?
Um, well, spring, actually, I'll kind of tag on to a little bit of what you said. There's so much going on as far as spring goes. I did text you this much earlier. There's baby geese
Oh yeah, the little
everywhere,
goslings, the little
all
Ryans.
over. Yep, all over the place. Um, I saw so much roadkill this week. Hate to even mention that, but it's
Oh.
just it does drag me down a little bit, and also it's very distracting. But I have to focus. And yesterday it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of upsetting is probably a little too strong, but as I was and I don't like to talk about bad things. Um but it is life. But
It's
as I
life.
was
Yeah.
driving through, yeah, but I just don't like to dwell on it. So I was driving at the end of my actually, it doesn't matter. At one portion near the end of my route, there was a goose, and it was in the middle of the road, and it had been hit, and it was dead. And it
Mm.
was situated just so that I had to either veer really far right or far left, which is worse because then, it's only a 2-lane road. So then you're an oncoming. But if I went straight ish in my lane, I'm going to drive over it. I'm not going to drive over it. And we are absolutely not supposed to dodge animals, dead or alive. You're just supposed to go. You are. And I ain't going to do that. So
Mm.
I veered right and went a bit off, the edge. I mean, I'm still on pavement, but you're outside of the line, which you're not supposed to do. But it's like, I am not plowing this goose. Um, and it's just a bummer. That's like the third large goose in the middle of the road that I've seen this season.
Oh, that's
I see
okay.
squirrels like crazy. I've already hit
Mm-hmm.
and killed, I don't even know how many squirrels, which is so upsetting. And and it's not because I will avoid them if I can. They dive under your bus. And I don't know what it is. They get really, I'm sure you've all at least seen it and hopefully avoided it,
Mm-hmm.
because in my car it's easy enough to do. Not completely, but they get that weird, and then they don't know which way to go with the bus, and they're like, oh, and they go right under the bus. I don't even look anymore, because every time I
Mm-hmm.
look and can see that I hit one, I just say a prayer, which I do anytime I see an animal that's been hit anyways. Please let it be dead, not laying there
Mm-hmm.
suffering, da da da. And but yeah, and I've been seeing lots and lots of rabbits, not dead, on the
Oh.
side of the road. And then yesterday, right before that, when I saw that goose, I could see, and this I did pray on, and it either just happened on its own or I did get answered. There's this big field that I drive by that's corn, not corn. No, it's not, Allison. I don't know what it is. It's probably it's some sort of grass, and it was recently cut all the way down. So the whole field is flat, but it's dry now, right? So it looks like
Mm-hmm.
a cornfield after it's been chopped down, but it's not corn. Anyway, there was a goose out there, and they do lay. Geese are so weird. Canadian geese, they will have a nest in the oddest places, like the weirdest places you would not think a goose would have a nest. But anyways, and there was a crow dive bombing this goose. And then they're out there as a pair, right? And they usually are. They do it together, the male and the female. And there's a crow out there, and it was relentless. And I was just like, what is going on? I would think it wanted its eggs, but it's like they couldn't get this crow to leave them alone. And so I was like, oh my God, please. And I'm totally distracted by that. And you shouldn't be. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I made a promise to myself and my guides and everything. I'm like, I'm not looking anymore. Because I can't. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even look. And so, but when I did come back through there, it had stopped and it was hopefully done. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that there's just a lot of activity. And then I did Heather, or I did text Heather a little
Allison did
video of
Heather this
this. I
week.
Heathered. I texted Heather at least once. The video is for Anthony, but I
Yes.
sent it to her. So every morning for the last, just about every morning for the last 2-3 weeks, I've been texting Anthony a little clip right after I do my pre-trip on my bus. I have like a 2-minute window and I go out and take a video where my bus parks. It's actually kind of nice. The space that I park right across from me, there's a little marsh and there's a Canadian goose that has been nesting right there, and she's there every single morning. And I just send a little, and the sunrise happens right behind her because I'm facing the east. And I just say a little video of him. You can't see me, I'm always pointed at the goose. Well, anyways, yesterday, did I send you that one? I did. 2
Yeah, it
days
was the one
ago,
with, oh, hi,
she had a
Dee. I just
gosling
want to send this
in
to
the
you. Love
morning.
you. Bye.
She
It's
had
so cute.
No, I'm talking. Well, yes, I'm talking about.
I
Did
call him the
did I
little
send you the
Ryan
one with the
Gosling.
goose or with the baby?
With the baby, yeah,
Yeah,
and I joked. I said, "Oh, it's a little Ryan Gosling," because I couldn't
yeah,
resist the little joke.
right. But anyways, she must have had it that morning. So today is Friday, so it must have been Wednesday morning,
Mm-hmm.
and there was only one, and her mate was there with her. And then that afternoon, when I came back, they were gone. So I'm assuming they relocated because they quite literally, there's a mound in the middle of this marsh, and that's where she had her nest. And she was up high. It was very smart, I think, for her to be there. Nobody was going to likely to come in there and
Find
mess
her.
with her, no fox or anything like that. But then once she had a baby hatch, so I'm assuming they moved the eggs. I mean, I don't know, but they have not seen her back there, and there's a big mound of feathers there, or she'd made a nest. And but anyways, the chick was or the gosling was so stinking cute, super bright yellow, which only lasts for a day or two, and then they really quickly start to, get like a dirty yellow, and then they slowly turn gray and blah, 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 blah. But there's babies everywhere near, well, in this part of Ann Arbor, but especially where my the bus lot is, because there's just a huge marshy area there, and there's just geese all over the damn place. And often when you're pulling in, you have to slow down because there's geese crossing the road everywhere, and it kind of is an issue, honestly. And a lot of people
Yeah.
get really pissed off and don't like dealing with it. I just think it's cute and funny. And if I'm late because I got to do a geese crossing, well, I guess I do. Yes, I prefer ducks just because they're so friendly.
Miss
um
Terrell D said,
but
"I
the
didn't
geese
want
are
to miss
really
the
cute.
joke, but she says so much for duck, duck, goose." So
Yeah,
yes,
I
Miss
say
Terrell
that
D
to
is
Anthony,
here.
the whole duck, duck, goose, because we feed the ducks and the geese off of his balcony. And they actually, that's another thing I'll say. They come right in. He slides open his door and he literally says, ducks. They come because he's on a pond.
Yeah, I've seen that one
You think I'm
video.
lying? I swear to God.
Mm-hmm.
Within, if they're not already out there, and then he goes out there because they come
Oh,
and they
we
stand
got
right by.
somebody at our door. I'll be
Okay.
right back.
They come and they stand right there, and he um calls to them, and they just come. And then there's a lot now. It's taken a while. Right now it's only mallards, but last year we had, what's it called, American black duck, which look, those of you that don't know, they look very much like a female mallard. In fact, the males and the females are really hard to tell apart, but you can. Their beaks are a slightly different color, the American black duck. But anyways, it's really cute. So yeah, and now the geese have started coming up as well, and they do hang out and eat together pretty well, which I was kind of surprised, but they do. So yeah, that's been really nice.
Yeah, we just had a knock on the door, and one of the workers here, I guess, decided to surprise us and brought us free food, a dinner. Is it Indian? Yeah. They brought us some Indian food. We've been here
Nice.
2 weeks, and so okay. Well, I guess we have something for a little later.
That is
Um,
awesome. And hold on 2 seconds, you guys. I'll be right
sure.
back, Mother.
is going to share. And Michelle says she is still in Jalisco and they haven't moved yet, but they're going to head out mid-June. It's a bigger move and transition. So, girl, you know how hard that is and how consuming that can be. So, enjoy. Um, and most, oh, what's the word I'm thinking of? Just a lot of supportive energy too. And just good vibes to you and Jonathan and Rosie for finding the perfect place. So, yeah, that was interesting. They were able to switch out our linens today, and I had asked one of the guys here that works here if he knew what kind of flower, because they look like little white bells, and I asked him if he knew what those were, and he has a little trouble. A lot of the people here have trouble, that work for Dadar, because it's an Indian run and owned in here. Has a hard time. Some of them still understanding English and be able to speak English clear. And I had asked him and what the flowers were, and he was just like, "Sorry, I don't know. Go talk to Dadar. We don't." I said, "Okay," and just had a knock and he's bringing us food. So maybe he felt bad. He didn't know what the flowers were. I don't know. But, and I just really wanted to also take the moment for everybody to on Facebook and sending me private messages for about Ziva's passing on Monday.
Yeah.
She was the doctor, didn't do any tests or anything, but she says, looking at her, feeling her, she said she had cancer, and that her kidneys, being 19 years old, she goes, everything's shutting down. So she goes, it's the right thing to do. Don't feel bad, sweetheart. So we said goodbye to Ziva, but Mazi and Ziva were not close, not at all. They tolerated each other, and so Mozzie has just been really just soaking in all of as much intention now with Shan and I, and he's playing more. He seems to be a happier kitty, since the move, since leaving that place, and then coming here, and now with Ziva passing, he has us all to himself now, and that makes him happier. I think he feels more, maybe even more loved now. So, but yeah, thank you everybody for the well wishes. I miss my mamas, but I know she's in a good place. And Selena is doing a beautiful 40-day candle for me, just to light the way for Ziva, to show our love and support for her and her process. So thank you, Selena, too. She's in chat, so thank you too for that, Selena, my dear.
Did you say 40?
I think, yeah, I think Selena has
40?
a, I think she's got a candle where she lights it every day. She'll light a candle, and then I think Selena, you burn it out and then you relight it. I believe that was supposed to be 40. Um, let's see. Um, and Shelby was saying, the other week I went to a nursery, as I was walking, there's this bird on the ground. Oh, and it looked like she had a nest on the ground. It was so unique, the coloring, how she looked. Yeah, I love seeing, whenever I see the birds like that close to humans too. I always, put protective energy. We actually had to stand there. I mean, not stand there, wait in the car. We were leaving Access yesterday, and the driveway out is small. It's narrow. It's enough for one car to go through, and it curves. And this dove, boom, boom, boom. I'm waiting. I'm looking. It moves a little bit. I'm trying to move a little bit forward. And I had to like open my door and literally say, "Could you please move? I need to go." And it took what, at least almost a good minute or so for the dove to make it across, so that, because I wasn't going to, honk or scare it or anything.
It
Like,
might have
come
been
on.
stunned.
It was just one of the ones it was just walking around, just, going like that on the ground, looking for food, and just kind of looked up at us and, oh, okay. And then, walked over, went to the tree, started looking for more. I mean, a lot of the animals here have personality, let me tell you. And I even love it when we see the deer. Um, So Selena, you're going to be on with Bill tonight at 11 o'clock. I'll try to pop in and say hi. And again, yeah, Selena was on with Ramon and Bobby last night for like spiritual moon discussions or something like that. It's like a yeah, like a spiritual discussion. And hello, Brenda. Hello, Brenda. Everybody, Brenda Tarot. She does amazing readings. She knows her signs. She knows her horoscopes. Her, everything. So good readings for signs and things. Brenda's a wonderful reader to have your signs read for. So please check out her channel as well. Um, Everyone's saying hi to Mozzie. Let's see. Selena says, I like your necklace, Allison. I do too.
Thank you,
I've
honey.
always
I
admired it.
always have it on. I don't take it off. It'll change once in a while. I take it apart and rebeat it, make it a little bit different. But I've had it like this for been a few months. But thank you. And excuse me, everybody. My afternoon completely got away from me when I got home from work. And so
You
I
gotta
am
eat. You gotta
having
eat.
my dinner. I'm having salami and cheese because it's the only thing that I have that doesn't need to be cooked. And yeah, so I'm having a weird dinner tonight, but it's Friday, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's right. And let's see, let's see, Michelle says we love the Canadian geese
In
in
Washington.
Washington. And Brenda said it's a big fine because she's in Canada. It's a big fine here to hit a goose.
Yeah, as it should be. Of course, here, so can I comment on that?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I never like to see a dead animal on the side of the road. None of us do. And the thing of it is, they are so thick this year. Like they're everywhere. And
Hi,
the
Moira.
problem that I think that it is, the part of the problem is that people, all right, I'm going to try to reel this in and get to the point and not go on and get angry and everything else. People don't pay attention because, and it admittedly, part of this is because of what I do for a
Hi,
living.
Carmen.
If you're paying attention and looking ahead, you should never hit anything. No, you shouldn't. You often should not hit things, right? Yes, animals can right at the exact time. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. But if there's a goose in the road and you just
Mm-hmm.
don't see it because it doesn't get out of the way in time, yes, it's your fault. And that's, I think, a lot of the time what's happening. And this one road that I'm talking about, too, another issue is there's no
Hi,
speed limit
Bernice.
there. There are
Oh,
areas where it's considered, what is that called in Michigan? If it's not marked, maybe this is a Michigan thing because we didn't have this in California. And I know we didn't have it in Florida. And I don't remember having it growing up as a kid here, but it's here now. If it's a road and it's the speed is not marked, that means it's 55, right? You can go up to 55. So people go 55. They also go 60 on this road. In my bus, because of where I'm going and stopping and turning and everything else, I go about 45. I don't really go that fast, although legally I can. But I usually just don't because it's just short stretches and I'm turning into a subdivision and there's a light, da da da, whatever. So part of the problem is that people are whizzing through there too damn fast.
yeah.
But I love that. Yes, ticketing people for killing XYZ. So, like, I hit a deer and killed it when I was 16 years old, and it still bothers me. And I would it have happened today? Probably not, because I am so peripherally paying attention. I am on point. Yes, I'm gonna toot my own. I'm a good driver. And a lot of people just don't pay attention. Part of it, yes, it's because of what I do now. And I'm always working now when I'm driving. It's just a mindset. But you just have to pay attention. You just gotta know. And in certain areas, there could be an animal at any time. A lot of it is avoidable. A lot of it. Now, when you're on a bus, you got damn squirrels diving under your friggin' bus.
You can't help it.
That's a little bit different, but it's not always avoidable, is all I'm saying. But a lot of the times that it happens, if the person had just been paying better attention.
Yeah. Miss Taro D says, and I remember this when I was younger. There's these little whistle things you can put on the hood of your car, and
Yep,
when
like a
you're
dog
driving,
whistle.
the animals hear and scares them off. Yep.
Yep.
And
They don't
Ramon.
like the sound of the bus. It's diesel and it's loud. All
Oh,
dogs bark at the bus.
yeah.
I always slow down when I go by people on the sidewalk, which is all the time in the neighborhoods that I drive. I always idle as I pass. I might still be going 25, but I take my foot off, so I idle as I go by, because most dogs, especially the little yappy ones, flip out at the bus.
Yeah. And Ramon has joined us.
Hi,
Hello,
Ramon.
Ramon. Moira Garnet is here as well. Um, and it's so cool. There's a before I forget, thank you, Garnet, for mentioning saying hi to Allison, because I saw the way you spelled Allison. Saying there is a street here. There's two streets. There's one Allison, not with a Y, with an I, but there's Allison, and then a couple down below I haven't found yet, but there's a street here with downtown with Heather. I was just like, oh, Allison and Heather. So
Oh,
I have to.
really?
Mm-hmm. I
Oh,
have to
you got to
find
get
it
a
one of
picture
these
of that. I
days.
want to see that.
I'll have to take a picture when I get used to driving around down there, because a lot of one way this way, one way that way, incline here, decline there. So it gets a little. We're going to go to the Lithia Park tomorrow. We're going to go right after breakfast because it's the weekend where the artisans show up, and we want to try to make sure that we get a good parking spot so we can go. And Shannon's going to take his guitar. I'm going to take some of my paints or my sketchbook
Nice.
and start kind of walking around, introducing myself to people and seeing the local artists and things. So, and Michelle said human development, including housing and infrastructure projects, have led to habitat. Yeah,
Big time.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
They have
Yep.
nowhere to go. They have
Yep.
nowhere to go.
Yep.
Um,
Exactly. Can I say one more thing?
yeah, it's our show. You're part of it
Sorry, I just
too.
didn't know if you were about to say something. So
Yeah,
last year,
I'm
who
gonna get
was it
more
that just
coffee.
said that? Okay, she'll be right back. So last year,
Yeah, coffee.
um, there's a shopping center that's pretty close to me. It's not too far away. Um, and there's like a what is over there? Michael's and Marshalls. There was a Bed Bath and Beyond. There's a Spirit Halloween that comes, every fall because of some spot that's empty now. Blah 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 blah. Anyways, it's a pretty populated parking structure, right? There's an Old Navy over there. There's a rack, the Nordstrom rack. I'm remembering now. There's a whole bunch of stuff over there. Five and Below, whatever. Ulta Beauty. It's a big shopping center. Anyways, off to the side, or one of the sides, there is actually they're all over the place, but in this one area there's these I don't even know what you call them, like they're little island inlet type things that they can plant shrubs in and
Mm-hmm.
plants, and they do. Well, it had to have been this time of year. God, you guys, I'm getting so crazy. I think that was 2 years ago that this happened. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it was last year. Whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, there was a goose. She's literally made a nest sitting on her eggs in the middle of this effing parking lot because she's protected by this. You could, and these beds are probably, I mean, honestly, they're probably about 10 feet by 3 to 4 feet on the inside measurement, right? So they're sizable, but still, it's in a parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
So this goose is sitting there all on her nest, and then her mate is hanging around because that's how they do it. They're together, which I think is really cool. But it's like, I need to look it up too, unless somebody in here knows. I've learned a lot of the birds and know a lot of the birds, the male from the female. But the geese, the Canadian geese, are one, like, actually more than I ever realized, look very much the same. And so if not the same, there's probably some subtle difference with a feather marking or something, and that's it. Because I don't see anything noticeable at all, or maybe it's just the size. I mean, if you can actually look at the sex of the animal, of course, but anyhow, I called the Humane Society. I'm like, there's a goose over here nesting at Arborland. I'm like, is she okay? Is it, is that going to be, because I was just worried about,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just maternal, and I'm like, is she okay there? It's like, is somebody going to run over her, or is everything going to be okay? Is somebody going to come over and be mean? I mean, I don't know. Like my son says, I'm a helicopter. It's like, okay, so I'm a helicopter. What's going to happen to this goose that's in the middle of a friggin', anyways, they're so cool. They came out and they said they would look into her or whatever. I got a phone call, like, I don't know, hour or two later, whatever it was, because I called kind of morning-ish. I don't remember what day of the week it was. Um, yeah, it doesn't matter, but it doesn't come to mind right now. Anyways, I got a call back. They were so nice. This young man called me back and told me that he had been out there, and he described exactly where he saw her and everything else. He's like, yeah, she'll be fine. He's like, she's
Mm-hmm.
close enough to the, da da da, and they know when to take off and this and that, whatever. And they're very, very protective. And, you don't, which I already know. It's like, you don't want to come over towards a goose because you'll
Oh
get the
yeah.
ass chewing that you've never had before. And from both of them, and everything else. And I mean, obviously somebody's, hell bent on doing something, but he's like, she's safer than what you think. He goes, the chicks will be fine. I said she'll probably move them at night. And once they're hatched, and they will stay there. I was just like, oh my God. I mean, it is also my biggest concern was a hawk flying down once she's got chicks, and you're just you're a fish in a bucket, right? You're sitting there
Mm-hmm.
with all your babes, but as soon as they're born, they do start to move. Anyways, I don't know, and that's another reason I think that the male is there if they are going to relocate, because it's easier to move the chicks around, goslings, babies, whatever, when there's more than one adult. So, but anyways, males are, yeah. So like with the cranes and stuff, while plumage is the same, males tend to have a larger, broader head and a thick. Thank you. Yep. Yep. And I
Now
figured
when
it
I
was
go out and
something
see
like
them, I'll
that.
figure that out. Yep.
So Anthony and I were at the cemetery visiting my mom's grave, like, I don't know, a month ago or so. And we saw, the name's going to escape me now.
Oh, how sad.
I love cranes and herons and all that. And there was some sort of a crane, and I can't remember the name right now. And I didn't know the difference between them. Anyways, and that's what it ended up being. And one, when you really were looking at them, I'm like, okay, that one is bigger. Now that's probably not always going to be the case, because I'm, just like with humans, sometimes, a man, or, can be on the smaller side and a woman can be on the bigger side. So it's probably not a hardened rule, but for the most part, yes, the males are going to be bigger and the females smaller. But thank you. And that does make sense. And I did, yes, I've noticed that. And I figured that's what was going on. So, thank you.
And Shelby said that a few years ago in Boston, someone went to a swan's nest in one of the parks and threw a brick on top of the nest, smashing the eggs. It
I don't
was
even want to hear
heartbreaking.
that.
She goes, people have no right to do that. People are just, that's why I like animals a lot of times over people. And Michelle said that we had an entire flock of Canadian geese breed behind our apartment complex on the Samish River in Washington for years. We learned about them at that time. Very cool.
They're really neat. And it's I love all animals. Um in California, is that true? And now I can't remember if it was in Florida or in California. It must be California, yeah, because my son was there. Um they were so aggressive at this one park where we used to go, and I'd have the stroller, and you try to just stay on the path and kind of go by them, and you get anywhere near them, they would come at you and lifting their wings all up and wanting to fight, you
Mm-hmm.
know. It's like, go away, I'm
I'm
not
not
even
bothering
coming
you.
over to God, and I'm laughing, but at the same time I'm like, step off, you know. One time I had to turn with the stroller and kind of go forward a little bit because it was not backing off. And it's like, probably had baby somewhere or something. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm clearly, to me anyways, just passing, getting all aggressive, being all loud. Oh my God.
Well, they take their job very seriously.
They sure do. But and Anthony's had a couple come up on him. Um, I think it's just because he's so tall. I guess I don't know because he walks after work a lot, and he walks around his complex, and he's had the geese come right up to him and be nasty a couple of times.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just walking by. It's like he's not stopping. He's not
Mm-hmm.
looking at them. This is funny.
We actually have a couple crows, not crows, Heather, ravens.
You
Um,
probably have both there. Have you looked it up?
they probably have crows, but these are the big guys.
Okay.
I look
Hmm.
now because I didn't know the difference
I just wanted to
between
say
them.
that
But
because you probably do have both. But go ahead.
but there's a person that has a fence. There's a fence alongside the inn where the road is into the back parking lot. And oh, aloha, Jonathan. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. Yeah, we were mentioning your peacocks a little bit earlier, and that pigeon that you had on your arm this past week. That was sweet. Um, so there's like a little break in the fence, and well, not a break, but there's like a little ledge, and someone goes and puts like nuts or whatever on there, and the crows kind of come around, and there's a couple squirrels, and it was so cute this afternoon when Shannon and I were going to go get our laundry. One was on the tree, and literally from where I'm at, let's see how many feet, about 2 feet, just on the tree in front of me. The squirrel was kind of playing like hide and seek with Shannon and I, coming down, coming this way, looking at us, and I'm like, "What are
Yep.
you doing?" Then he come around and look, and it was just like, "Hey, baby," and Shannon's like, "Careful, they might, and bite you." And I said, I'm gonna be careful, but to have one get that close to, and looking at its face, and he
You
was
get really
just so
close to squirrels.
adorable. Oh
Hmm.
my God, he was just so sweet. And there was a couple of them, and this one here just was particularly really friendly. And I said, I'm not going to hurt you, and I'm talking to it, be careful, because other people might not be so nice. But yeah, you know, Shelby says black swans. I would love to see a black swan.
I've
I
never seen a black swan. The same body of water that is near where I see the geese when I'm doing my route in the morning, there's white swans
and
on
that's and
that.
I'm hoping. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. They're not there all the time, and I don't know a lot about swans, so I'm just going to leave it at that. They are sometimes there. That's all I know. And I told you on Heather's show a couple weeks ago, I had three fly over me together, the three of them. They were swans.
And Jonathan said the easiest way to tell is the crows have the straight beaks and ravens have the bend in the tips of their. But
Yeah,
too,
and the
you can hear
feathers
that
that go
guttural.
up right off of their head, like if you're close enough that you could see that. Also, the tail is, oh, I always get it goofed up. The tail is very square, and then there's the more rounded on the bottom. Shit. I always
Jonathan
get it
said
goofed up.
I
I
saw
can't
tons of
remember.
black swans in Ontario. Aotearoa. I don't know where that is. Is that when you went to New Zealand, Jonathan?
I think the
Um,
crow is square.
and now the park that we're going to Marlithia has been known to have swans. So I'm hoping to see swans because swans were my first animal totem when I was younger, between the deer and the swans, but the swan was my very first. New Zealand. Okay, there we go. Yep. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but I
Where are
saw
the
it.
black swans at?
Well, Jonathan said they saw a ton of them in New Zealand. Um, and let's see, Garnet says I heard peacocks can eat poisonous plant seeds, and it goes into the colors of their feathers. Very cool, Garnet. Thank you for sharing that. That's very interesting.
Colette
Uh,
Baron Reed has a song that's called Black Swan.
so does every time I see the word black swan, I think of Tori Amos, Black Swan too. Michelle says, wait a minute. Oh, I hate the StreamYard. We got tundra swans when the area was about to freeze over. They warned us to stock up on propane. They're gorgeous. Oh, was that when you were in Washington? And hello, Eternal Light. Thank you for being here. Okay, so it's pronounced whoop, Aotearoa. Aotearoa. Oh, very cool. Oh, I love how that sounds. That's beautiful. Oh, Allison's got her book. She's looking up something. Um, let's see. So, hoping that there will be some swans at the park tomorrow, or I get to see them soon. Anywhere you go, you happen to see deer, nestling, in and around the area because the deer are protected here. Um, and so I've been just seeing just before. What was it? Indiana. We were behind our hotel was behind a protected
Our deer are
marshland.
protected too.
And when I went out to get something out of the car that very first night of our trip, this beautiful heron just flew right in front of me, this blue heron. And I thought, oh my God, how gorgeous. So ever since, the trip, been seeing all sorts of different animals and landscapes. The swan song is when you're going to pass away, you produce your best works. Oh, wow. Yep. That was Led Zeppelin's record label too, Swan Song. Yes, Michelle, that's what I was hearing today at the cemetery. I love the deep croaking sound that the ravens make. Yep.
Yes.
That was
Yep.
such, and you can hear them talk too sometimes with it's so cool. Absolutely cool.
I really, and I'm not a, I really, really, really miss the Ravens. Like, palpably miss the Ravens. I really, really enjoyed them.
Well, all you have to do is you and Anthony, when you're ready to move, just come out, head out here and join us.
He would
I'm
never
working
live
on
in
Tom.
Oregon.
Oh, really? I'm working on
No.
Tom. I said, Tom, come on, you got
Mm-mm.
to come
I
out
like
too.
Oregon. He wouldn't like Oregon at all.
Oh,
I
so
actually already
beautiful
threw
here.
that by him. He was like, no.
Aw, what's wrong with Oregon, Mr. Anthony?
It
I've been
I
playing word chumps with him. He's been kicking my butt. I think I beat him once playing that game.
really
Um,
I'm beating the hell out of him right now. We got like 21 games going or something crazy, but I'm winning.
there
It's
you
weird.
go.
It ebbs and flows. But yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know. This is so weird how this book is set up. I'm still trying to find it stops and starts with the numbers and then it's kind of weird. Anyways, I'm trying to see.
Aw.
It's a great book, but I don't reference it
Ugh.
often enough. And every time I open it up, I get kind of confused. All right, that's not it. The Black Swan is in here. Actually, there's several swans. There's Trumpeter, Tundra,
Mm-hmm.
Whistling, and then it says Swans, Swift, Black. Oh, Swift. Never mind. Never mind. Forget that part. That's another bird. I've never heard of a swift. All right, so 391. Don't mind me. Just talk amongst yourselves. Let me see if I can figure out what the hell's going on here.
So I asked Allison if she was in the mood to do any readings tonight. I do have my I pulled out my Theodore and I've got my tiles nearby. And of course I got my paints next to me too, but that's for
Okay.
another show. So I don't know, girl, are you in the mood for reading? Should I put that out there to people or just wait till maybe next week?
It's up to you.
If we just want to keep talking about birds, we can do that too.
All right, hold on one second. I just let me I want to find this so I can read what this says. Just give me one more minute.
Sure, let's see. People are saying any cool birds. Let's see. Michelle says New Zealand is on my bucket list. I had no idea they had black swans. Can you imagine what it's like to smudge with their feathers? Oh wow. Can you imagine? Um, that's amazing. I'm looking for
What is happening
a
here?
raven's feather.
I don't understand. What am I doing wrong?
Let's see. Swifts don't land only to mate. They sleep flying high up.
570,
Oh, wow,
572.
Garnet. I didn't know that either.
Oh, I just figured something out that I never noticed. Hold on.
And we had some, well, Allison's doing that. We stopped by, there's a metaphysical store called Sound Peace. It was okay. I was a little disappointed in their statuary. They were just basically, um, they had pretty much only Hindu and Christian statuary there. I was hoping for maybe some more Celtic, but it was a cute little store. Had some nice crystals. They have this line. I had
Okay,
this one girl,
I'm
I don't know where her card is, but her pieces start out like her small ones at $200. And I guess she takes, some of her pieces are like, are quartz crystal, and then she does something where impurities are pulled out
70.
in a vacuum. And it's kind of like the enhanced crystals where they put the ions on the crystal, but impurities or something are taken out of certain types of quartz crystal, and then certain metallic or colors are infused. And her pieces are stunning and gorgeous, but they like start from like $200 and go up over
I
$800. I
don't
have to
understand this.
find what I did with her card. But then there was this cute little place next door for ice cream called, I think it was called Zoe's. And Shan and I both had, a scoop of chocolate ice cream with Oregon. Um, what kind of nuts were they, honey?
Oregon blackberry and hazelnut.
Hazelnut. So Oregon blackberry, thick ribbons of, Oregon blackberry swirl in there, along with, the hazelnuts. Oh, it was so, so good. And hello, Miss Moonlight. Hello, my dear. So Jonathan says my smudge tool is made
Wow.
from raven feathers from the Grand Canyon. Never been myself. It was made by, oh, so you've never, I've been to the Grand Canyon. It's beautiful. Um, do different feathers give different energies when you smudge? I believe so, because you got to kind of factor into the, the associations with that bird and what they, typically, and a bird can have many different, and depending on the culture,
Wow.
personal, as well. So like with crystals, certain crystals, this is for healing, this is for love, this and that, but then also we all resonate differently, so there's going to be other attributes, that come from us, or that particular crystal or feather or bone, may want to work with us instead. So it's always something to get started with, depending on, again, the spiritual practice or culture that you're starting with. um, but then it's basically a lot of it's intuitive as well.
Hmm.
um, let's see, House Martin. So Garnet still, still Garnet is still sharing his knowledge of birds. House martins, the plastic eaves have not helped them building their mud nest under the eaves of the houses. Okay. Let's see. Yes, that is powerful spirit medicine, Jonathan. I agree, Michelle. Um, yeah, Oregon blackberry. It's yummy. Does someone say hello, Janet? Miss
I
Ice Cream.
am
Yep.
getting angry.
Let's see. I am growing Kent Cobb, best hazelnut in UK. Ooh,
I
enjoy,
used to
Garnet.
love hazelnuts. I used to get roasted unsalted. I would eat them raw too, but the roasted hazelnuts, just unsalted plain, back when I didn't know what I know now, but I loved them. I really liked hazelnuts a lot. I would never eat them now, but they were very, very good.
And
I liked
see,
them a
Michelle
lot.
said, Heather, feathers are like hair. Talk to any Native American shaman and they'll go into the importance of keeping your hair safe for similar reasons. Interesting. I didn't know about that.
Say that again. What was that?
Michelle said, because Shelby, I think it was Shelby that mentioned, well, different feathers from different animals have different smudging effects, and I said yes, and it also based on certain traditions, spiritual traditions like indigenous, Native American, depending on and what that particular animal wants to, or spirit guide wants to work with you through that particular feather, that smudging tool. And Michelle said 100% feathers are like hair. Talk to any Native American shaman and they'll go into the importance of keeping your hair safe for similar reasons. So that's something new, that's interesting. I hadn't heard that
Safe,
before. Mm-hmm.
meaning what?
Michelle, could you elaborate? I'm thinking, I don't know, like when you keep, I'm assuming it's when you keep, like your body
Like not
clean,
letting anybody have your cut hair?
something maybe
She said
like that.
safe.
So
Safe is not a word that I would associate with
I'm
shampooing.
So I'll share with Michelle.
And maybe that is what she means. I don't know. I'm just curious what she means and in what way, because I've never heard that. I believe hair is a big deal. It's a
I know
lot
for
bigger
Native
deal
Americans.
than
Hmm.
yeah. And that's part of the reason. And no, I mean, again, it's just my intuitive why I've never not. It's been a very, 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 very long time since I've done any kind of process to my hair.
Oh, that's beautiful,
That's from
Jonathan.
him.
That's beautiful.
And I was wrong, you guys, because I'm just being a ding dong. There's nothing in here about black swan. It went into another bird, and then under it it says black right away, and that's why I couldn't find it because it's only got trumpeter and tundra in here. That's it. I was trying to see where black swan's at.
So Miss Moonlight said, I've been trying to cut down my carbs, Allison.
Oh, nice.
Slowly but surely. I bought light ice cream instead of half and half. So light cream instead of half and half. So people are taking your advice and making
Light cream. I
changes.
don't know what that is.
Like a light cream, I think, for coffees and stuff.
Right. I don't know what that is.
My hair is
Seriously.
past my rear, so yeah, mine's getting a little bit.
Mine's
That was
long
straight
too,
cut.
and but I do cut it. I don't like it to get super long. I'm talking about like I don't put weird stuff on it. I don't overwash it. I don't put any there's no chemicals. I don't blow dry it. I don't do any of that stuff.
Geese, the Romans used them to guard Scotland, used them to patrol the whiskey vats. Very
That's
cool. God,
hilarious.
I love all the stuff that you're sharing with us. Selena, me too. Black swans would be so pretty. Yes, it's like
Mhm.
heavy cream, but it's a lighter.
It's like a
light cream,
heavy cream.
which means it's probably lighter in calories, maybe less fat, that kind of thing. I think is what she's meaning. She goes, but lighter. She said, heavy cream, but lighter. So maybe not as many calories or fat or sugars, maybe.
There's no sugar in cream.
But it's lighter.
Just saying. Right. No, that's fine. I'm just so when you
Mhm.
buy cream, there's milk, different types of milk, and then you have half and half, and then there's cream. Anything else is something that's being combined with other items. That's all I'm saying.
Let's see. Yes, she says more fat. So here we go. Thank you, Michelle. The belief is that hair, especially when shed, can be used in native sorcery to
That's what
harm
I was
someone,
saying. Right.
often
Keeping
by
your hair
using it in
safe.
rituals to interfere with their overall health and connections to the ancestors. And we learned about that
Absolutely.
in the show. When we get on our feet, I want to be able to watch them. But there's a show called Dark Winds, and it's based Native American. And there was an evil sorceress that was grabbing people's hair
Mhm.
and doing evil magic
You can
against
do a
them
lot with
in the
hair.
story. So
Mhm.
exactly.
Yep.
So that was a good show. We're hoping to start watching it again someday. But it's called Dark Winds. If anybody wants to watch it, I think it's on Amazon Prime, but it's a paid now. The first season was at one time free, but since there was the second season, they put a price on it now. So it's a really good show. And let's see. Jonathan says the black swan symbolizes beauty, grace, and transformation, encouraging exploration of deeper aspects of oneself and embracing change. It represents the balance between light and darkness and intuition. Thank you, Jonathan. That's beautiful.
I'm sure that's in one of my books. And the way he wrote that, I'm wondering which one that is.
Oh, so Miss Tarot D says, agree, Michelle. When a baby has their first haircut, the parent has to sweep it all up and stow it away so that negative magic can't be done with it. And that's interesting because a lot of people who practice magic said that, there's no, people don't practice, bad magic and stuff and this. But yes, there are those that do, unfortunately.
I have
Um,
Wyatt's hair from his first haircut.
And Miss Moonlight says that now it is loaded with DNA. A
Yep.
strand of hair can tell a story. It
Yep.
sure can.
Yep.
Oh, I'm not going to share that though, Garnet. We don't want to hear about that. Poor goose or poor turkey. So Michelle says, and I would love this if you're on Facebook, Jonathan. If you're comfortable, can you post a photo of the raven feather with the tiger's eye? That would be beautiful to see. So, but yeah, I've been wanting to get more connected to nature here and start connecting with the spirits and stuff and the animals. But right now, my energy is just too chaotic and kind of all over the place, stressing, trying to, gain a home and having to do this and doing that. So I'm going to wait till we actually find our place, the place, set it up, dedicate it, cleanse it, and then start working and seeing what comes through. But already, I'm seeing beautiful things here. So I think even though it's being a little difficult right now, I think this is the perfect place for me at this time. That's a good tradition, Miss Tarot D. Thanks for sharing. I think that's a lot too with Italian. So alrighty, we are at 6:03. Did you want to open for a reading, or you just want to keep talking? What would people in chat like? Does anybody have any
I'm
questions?
indifferent. Hold on 2 seconds. Either one.
Okay. Oh, that would be cool, Jonathan. So, if anybody is interested in a reading tonight, go ahead and put the question in chat. It's been a long time since I've done a reading. It's been 3 or 4 weeks. I tried pulling a few cards for myself on something here. Or if there's something else you want Allyson and I and to have a conversation with, go ahead too and let us know. I have my Theodore here and I have my lovely tiles.
I better
So,
grab a candle.
okay, so Miss Moonlight would like a reading for the week ahead. Alrighty, my dear. So, yep, just give me a second too. Alrighty. So,
I haven't done all my usual stuff, but I did light a candle on my altar. I didn't think we were going to read it all tonight, but I'm open to it because I haven't done any reading in like a while.
okay. Now I'm no longer able to star questions, so we have.
Oh, I need my bell. Sorry.
Yeah, we have Shelby next, so people can help me keep track. So for Shelby, ooh, I mean Miss Moonlight. Sorry. I love the bells. Those are so pretty. Oh, now that's interesting. I don't do reversals, but a reversal came up. Miss Tarot D, can you hear that? Ooh, clubs and tiles. Miss Tarot D, if you want a reading, let me know and I'll use my tiles. Okay. got here? Oh, this feels so weird. I haven't done this in so long. Let's see. So there shall be. Me too, Selena. So, Miss Moonlight, a week for ahead. So, your court card for representing you this upcoming week is the Queen of Swords. So, um, being very articulate, being very open to communication. Um, what else? Because I'm looking at these other cards here, and just making sure that your communication with others is clear. Clear where you stand, that you stand your ground, you are clear in your thoughts so that you can clearly communicate what it is that you think, feel, see. Well, there may be a situation, I'm not sure, but I'm looking at your other cards. So embody that Queen of Swords. It's nurturing, but being very, just being tactful, um, being blunt, but making sure that your words, are tempered like her sword. Being very clear, sharp to the point. Your other tarot cards, the overall energy, underlying energy, I'll go with that one first, is the Lovers, but reversed. I don't do reversals, but when one does come out, I honor that. And so, of course, the Lovers is about relationships with oneself, with a mate, or people in general, family, friends. So already with the Queen of Swords and the Lovers is the overall energy reversed. Just really kind of focusing on relationships. It looks like, I don't know, there's something that is not quite, um, something hasn't been, something needs to be made clear to some sort of relationship or relationships with others. I don't know if this is you wanting to establish maybe boundaries or clear communication, but this has to do with relationships. Now, your top card I did get is the Four of Swords. So this is really about taking that rest. And she's holding that one sword like the queen is holding that one sword. So really, resting, meditating on what it is that you want to say. Um, Kind of maybe even taking a break from this, from the relationship, having to step back, standing your ground, being very clear and communicating what it is, um, that you need, or what needs to be said in a situation. Now your tiles, I did get the overall energy with the tiles is this the Sun card. So it's, very successful. So whatever you're going to be able to do with this, it's going to be successful. It's going to establish those boundaries, establish you in a new light. Um, it's going to, that rest is going to kind of like open up the clouds. It's going to bring on the light in. You're going to be able to see more clearly once you've rested and meditated on, the communications and things that you're having with others, especially ones that don't quite feel right, in those relationships. Your overlying energy for your tiles is the Eight of Swords. So making sure that, we get out of, making sure that we don't put ourselves in that mental prison. We have the ability to move ourselves out of that, to get out of our thoughts. That's where I like the Four of Swords coming, taking time, resting, meditating, being very clear what it is that you want to communicate moving forward and standing in your power. And I like how that brings that sun. So, what I'm going to do really quick, let me pull another tile for the Lovers. I want to see, I'm being drawn to pull one more tile for the Lovers as a clarifier. So, especially with it being reversed. Ah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. The Seven of Swords. So again, with the Lovers, whatever this is, standing your ground, being clear on your communication, that Seven of Swords, that walking away, getting away from the
That's the
bullies.
Five of Swords.
Is that the 5 or the 7? My eyes. 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 5 of Swords. Excuse me. Thank you. Sorry, Heather can't see tonight. So again, though, the Five of Swords, you know, that taking, that setback, there's a bit of a conflict, communication, walking away. And this could very well be with going with the Lover's card, is that there's some sort of conflict, some sort of possibly a bullying, or I know it's kind of like the bully, but at the same time, it's like that winning at all costs, having to have the last damn say, in a conversation or in an argument. You need to get past that. You need to get clear that this is what I have to walk away from. Take the blinders off, move out of that. And that's when you have that sun coming through. It'll be more successful and you stand in your power. So that's what I have for you, my dear. So she says, I think the cards make a lot of sense. Yay, the sun. Okay. And Shelby says, the smoke from the candle is making a mysterious and mystical ambience. I love that. That's cute.
I'm gonna have
So,
to blow it out too, because I love it, but I can't tolerate it. It really bothers me, the smoke, but I like it.
okay.
Is it? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm just saying, Miss Moonlight says it makes sense. And yep, all yours. And I'll put her
So,
back up on here.
sorry, I've done 10 things since I pulled these cards. So Miss Moonlight, there's whatever part of your life this is in, I don't know, and I didn't pull any clarifiers. This is very direct and to the point. There's something here that you it's definitely a part of your life that you have spent time on and have established. But there's been some sort of a change, or there's going to be a change coming to whatever that is. And the advice is for you to I don't necessarily think this could be a conflict, but it could be. But whatever it is you're gonna stick up for yourself, and you're going to, say, the what for of whatever the situation is, and you'll be just fine. Three of Cups is the outcome. So yeah, it might cause you a little bit of anxiety, but you'll be fine. And then I did pull you one oracle card just for the heck of it. And I pulled Navigate with Flow. And this is about doing what feels natural, doing what feels right, taking care of you, going where you know that you should go, that kind of thing. So it pairs well to this. And this thing, whatever this is, that you're, that's substantial in your life, or you've invested in, or whatever you want to call it, um, is somehow related to something that you, I mean, you can apply this to any part of your life, really, but something that it was a change. Like you walked away from something in order to do this thing now, whatever this is. And I don't know what you got. Cups, pentacles, and swords here. There's no wands. So whatever part of your life or whatever that would be, but that's what I got. And I'm not getting into big old deep readings tonight, but hopefully that means something to you.
All righty.
Mine are gonna be boop, boop, boop.
So Shelby is next. Let me see what Miss Moonlight said. Let me catch up. Wow, this makes a lot of sense. Both of you are spot on.
Awesome.
So, and there was a lovely little compliment from, let's see if I can find Garnet, where Garnet was mentioning that you remind you remind him of Michelle with your hair pulled back, and Michelle was like, "Oh, that's a compliment." She goes, "Because Allyson is so beautiful."
Oh,
So
you're so sweet. That
yeah,
I look like, who's Michelle? I don't know who Michelle is.
astrological tarot. Michelle is the tall, thin, beautiful, straight black hair, dark hair. She does the Vedic, and she hasn't been able to join us on a Friday night. I'm still trying to
Oh,
get you
I
to
know who
join
you're
us,
talking
Michelle.
about.
Yeah.
I'm not, I can say I'm quite old enough to be your mom, but I do know who you're talking about. There's a
Yeah.
huge age difference there, and I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Both of you are very beautiful. So
Thank you. That is so sweet.
so let me go back and find Shelby would like to know how more what what more can I do for nature? She was asking, spirit, how more, if anything, can she help nature? You know.
I don't need to pull cards for that, but okay. What cards? Actually, I'm not going to use my tarot for that. What deck do I want to use for that?
Shelby, I know about nature, but
I'm gonna use this Oracle deck. Usually I want to use tarot all the time, but for that's a very specific question. And I'm ready to go digging around for a deck, but no, I'm gonna use this one.
And I'm getting
I'll tell you something.
Seen,
oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I'm just saying everyone saw me shuffling when you were, doing the other reading. I'm putting the tiles back, and I'm getting the same things coming up for now for Shelby as well. So these messages, take heed, y'all. When you get certain cards over again, that could be like a collective message as well. So let me just
And really quickly, who did we just read for?
We just read for Miss Moonlight, and now we're reading for Shelby.
Okay. Shelby, I'm going to pull cards for you. Something that I do, and I know I've probably said this on here 100 times. I pick up trash all the time. And that helps the animals and the planet and everything else. I know you're probably looking for something a little deeper than that, but I just wanted to mention that. Because I don't see other people doing it. I really don't. Or they got on an orange vest and they're out there because they've got community service or something. They're picking up trash, but I don't see regular people like me outside picking up trash.
So Shelby, I was drawn to grab my book here, Theodore's book, because I think there's something in here. So, so this is about, okay, so Shelby, right off the bat, you got the Queen of Swords too. And for me, she is the communicator. And what it says here is a leader. She will be, I know kings are, considered, the head of the leadership, but with the queens, to me, this feels very much like maybe speaking out more, educating people more. It says here, it's important to remember that leading from the mind rather than the heart is not always as objective as we think, and that even objectivity can be benefited by empathy and compassion. Attributes especially important to an authority, in a authority figure. So this here feels very much like becoming a part of your community, helping in any eco communities, helping with eco gardens, not eco gardens, like neighborhood gardens, finding some way of maybe volunteering, donating, but being very clear and open and communicating. Um, Maybe even starting one of your own. But the Queen of Swords is all about communication, writing, speaking, leadership. So maybe, again, volunteering or becoming a part of a group that deals with helping nature in your local area. It says here the Queen must keep her head and her unclouded vision. She must not let desires and opinions of others obscure her own judgment. Um, Evaluate and consider all those influences clearly when wielding her blade and making her independent decisions. So for me, this is all about maybe taking a leadership role in some way or form in your community. Now, your top other card for tarot is the Five of Pentacles. And I know this feeling right now is like a feeling of lack. What can I do? What could I possibly do? Feeling isolated. Not maybe thinking that you may not have enough monetary resources to be able to make a difference, but just being able to volunteer, getting out of the lack mindset of and despair. Yet there's a lot of awful things happening to nature, to the earth, but also remembering to be in the positive. Doing even offering Reiki to flowers, to trees, to animals. Getting grounded, getting in nature. Just different ways of being able to. It doesn't have to be a whole major, head on. What's the word I'm looking for? Like major, news projects, groups, organizations. Sometimes it's the smallest things that we do that can add to an overall to help nature. And the underlying energy, again, I got the seven, no, excuse me, the five of swords. And so there is a lot of so you got two fives here. So there's kind of like a lot of conflict going on within you with the subject right now. And I know that makes you very angry, very hurt when you see nature hurt, like you mentioned, that poor swan nest. So maybe attack. So for me too, this could also feel like people who attack nature, saying, "Oh, there's no such thing as global warming. There's no such thing that we need to take, we need a parking lot in place of a park." Different things like that that kind of get you, kind of riled up. That overall energy, this things, the discord, basically, of what's going on in the communities right now, in regards to nature and protecting it and preserving it, but knowing that there is no lack, that you have everything that you need to do that, taking that Queen of Swords role. And I did pull a few tiles and I got the Seven of Wands. So there may be times when you feel like this is about maybe defending maybe a very important bill to help nature. This could be defending, areas in your community where you're part of groups where you help to protect, maybe preserve wetlands or parks or things. This is all about standing up for and protecting, not protecting. Well, actually, you're protecting yourself. You're protecting now the wands too, about creativity, motivation, getting motivated to knowing. Okay, so you're going to know. I know Heather's rambling a little bit, but this is I'm getting all these ideas and stuff, and I'm just trying to articulate the words. So this could be like you going up, and these are the naysaying. Well, this isn't real. This isn't happening. We don't have the money in the budget for it. Boom, boom, boom. Anything coming at you, you're on top there. You are wielding that wand. You are able to defend your position and stand with others in helping nature. Doing that, I got the Ace of Swords. New ideas are coming your way. New ideas to of communication, clarity. You're receiving the clarity of what you can do, and also again, the Eight of Swords, getting out of that mental mentality that, there, whatever I do isn't going to be enough. You have to trust that it's enough. Nature knows that it's enough. God, Goddess knows that it's enough. Gaia, your spirit guides, they know that you care. And just caring and being able to do even something very small um, will make a difference. So getting out of that negative mindset that, even the smallest thing has no effect. It does. So I'm going to end it there and give it over to Allison. I hope that made sense. I think it did. I know a little long winded, but all yours, girl.
Um, so it sometimes it's interesting when you don't think that you'll necessarily get what you're looking for, and then you do. I love that. And then you are doing some interpreting as well. So Moon Fox, you were asking any messages for what you can do for nature. How can you help more? So from these cards, what I got from them, what their meaning is to, and you've probably already done this, but I'm going to just say several different things that I got from all of this. So how do I want to word that? This is probably for everybody to some degree, and this is just a good thing to just do. And then you can do it again later, because then you get kind of loose with it, and then you got to tighten it back up and whatever. Make sure everything that you're using is animal tested free. You want everything to be cruelty free, everything, right? Which you probably do anyway, but this is for everybody. And double check, and I mean anything that's a product that you have that you use in any kind of way. That's a huge thing that everybody can do, right? So yeah. Even me being carnivore, Like I've told you guys, I was vegan for many, many, many years and got very, very, very sick. And I ate that way because of how much I love animals. Having said that, just to whatever, I am so against animal testing. I absolutely hate, and I don't use that word lightly, that our country does animal testing. And most of it is worthless. It doesn't result in anything. And it's funded and everything else. And I'm going to stop because I'm getting away from the subject. But it's like when I start thinking about all these things, it stirs up all kinds of stuff. And it's disgusting. Anyways, making sure, and this is for everybody, this isn't just for you, even though this is your reading, that we're not using anything that does any of that stuff. Look at what you're, even including stuff like products that you buy for your pets, like everything, your cleaning products, your beauty products, like all that stuff that you don't even think. And if it doesn't say it on there, assume that it is and don't buy it. Don't use it, is what I say. But anyway, so there's that. That's the first card. And this is the first card. The next one, the way I'm interpreting this is what this would mean against this question. Revisit, and again, this is for you, but this is for everybody. I think this whole reading right here is kind of aimed towards everybody. And I had to do this because I thought I knew what was going on. And some of you might already know what I'm about to say. Once I say what I'm about to say, some of you might have already been aware of this. I certainly wasn't until I really started doing a lot of research after I'd been vegan for a long time and then started eating carnivore and whatever. This card is about restoring what you know or what you think you know and doing some research. I was shocked to find out how many, because I was vegan for a long time because I love animals and I didn't want to eat animals and da da da. And yes, then I became very sick and da da da. And I had also heard all this supposed God, I'm tempted to die. So I had been told or believed to be true without before I'd done any research that how bad it is to do animal farming for the planet. It's actually not true. If you do a little bit of legwork, it's just not. The animals are not treated well in a lot of farming situations, and that's a whole issue on its own. But as far as like the gases from the cows and all of that, do your research. No. And this card, a life for a life for a life. The reality is all of the plant farming and all of that takes way more lives all the time. And so that's something that can be looked at too. How that helps you exactly, I'm not sure. Maybe by looking at what we consume or whatever, and everybody can make their own decisions. But what I'm talking about is like all the mice and the rabbits and all the little critters that exist within a field of corn or wheat or anything that's grown, and how much death comes when they come through and plow this stuff, when they pesticide it, when they do all kinds of stuff, all the farming and everything else. There's a bunch of other stuff that happens as well. All the birds, they get poisoned. It's crazy. And I'm not making this up, you guys. And I'll just leave it at that. It's staggering when you really do the research of how many animals die from vegetation farming, I'm going to call it, or from plants. So that's it's just be knowledgeable. Make your own choices, but just be aware. Because I was shocked. It's not talked about. They're too busy trying to say how bad cow farts are when it's not even true. It's not even a thing. It's really not. and then also the other thing is to wherever you fall on all of this stuff, allow yourself to be honest and to voice what you think and feel, but also be open to hearing what others have to say. Like me, yeah, I'm a carnivore. I love animals. I do very much. I know where where things need to be worked on because I have read and read and read and read and read, and it's like I just, but allow yourself to voice what you feel, what you believe, what you feel passionate about, like even if it's contrary to what I have to say, you know, fine. Whatever your truth is, allow yourself to have it. This is allow anger. And just, however you want to defend whatever it is after your research or as a result of the research that you've already done, to voice what you have to say to anybody that you want to share this with, that you want to speak to about it. Right. And these are all things that you can do that can help nature. So yeah, that's what I got. And those were the 3 cards that I pulled for you.
Oh, wow. And Shelby said, I'm looking back to all her other ones. I always look up my skincare products and try to use
Awesome.
brands I trust. She even wants to make her own skincare
Nice.
products.
Yes. I do too. And I'm actually going to this summer.
She says we need to take care of our world just as much as we need to take care of ourselves. Take care of the land like you would your sweethearts. Yes.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and she says, here's the thing I've heard, and it really sticks to me. We need nature, but nature doesn't need us. Our
Nope.
plants overgrowing old abandoned buildings and natural disasters. I mean, we saw the difference when we went into lockdown and how everything was growing. The animals were
Yeah.
coming out. The air
Yep.
was cleaner. And I mean, it was just
If
what a
we
change.
screw this up, we will die.
Yeah.
The earth will be just fine.
Hmm.
Just fine. I mean, we could even who's seen Wally? Who's seen the Wally movie, the Pixar film, which is now what, 15 years ago or something?
It's been a long
It's
time.
like the Wally movie. And if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest seeing it.
And Michelle said, we agree, Allison. Jonathan went vegan after working in the Tyson plant. It hit me when I was 15 and learned about animal testing. Ahimsa, nonviolence, is a beautiful practice toward our fellow animals. So I try to do my best. I know my shampoo is cruelty free. My body wash is cruelty free. I know Dove is very much a part of cruelty free. My deodorants through them. So when I can, I do try to look. My makeup that I sometimes wear, I found in Walmart is from a cruelty free. But it can be difficult at times and more expensive. But where you can make little changes here and there, speaks
And
volumes.
a lot of stuff, at least for me, I just don't, there's so many things that we think we need. And again, everybody make their own decisions. Just speaking for myself, things that I thought I needed that I didn't. And there's so many things that can be used for multiple things. It's just like there's a lot of stuff like Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. I use that for so many things. Oh my God. Um, there's a lot. Deodorant. That's another thing. I mean, I don't wear it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I
I
don't
do.
have sweat that stinks. I ask Anthony. I don't need it. But my diet completely changed. Once
Yeah.
I used to need it. That's one of the there's once I actually start my channel, I'll list the things that have changed, but it's like I don't have, yeah, if I went a week without showering, yeah, I'm probably gonna smell a little bit. But like, I shower every other day. I don't shower every day. There's no need for it.
Hmm.
For me anyways at all. And I don't wear deodorant and I don't need it. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, there's you can do bar shampoo, you can do you can make all kinds of stuff with beef tallow. You can do there's all kinds of things you can do. But yeah, yep.
And Shelby was asked, just wondering, where did you get your information from? I look at one
Oh God,
article or
all
hear one
over.
video, and it gets me confused if it's actually real or not. So kind of she's trying to separate the fact from the fiction. So
You look at who wrote the article. You look at who wrote the article. It's just
That's
like all these cholesterol studies and was it the cholesterol one? And it was like by was it let me rewind it because I'm a little rusty. I'll just give you an example. You'll see some information that came out about, you know, your heart, and you know, oh, and you should eat more oatmeal and whatever, and oh, and there was a study done and da 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 da, and it was funded by General Mills. And I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. When you read an article and it's some thing, who wrote it? Who funded it? And when it's a study, what kind of study was it? There's numerous types of studies,
mhm.
and a lot of them are just throwaway nonsense. So,
Yes, Selena says my husband says that all the time. Look at who
yeah,
wrote it
hell yeah.
and who paid to write that article.
Right. Who funded it? Who funded the effing study? It's like
Organic farming. And Miss Moonlight said, that's interesting. I think hormones change with what you eat, and that would affect body odor and whatnot.
yes. Yes. Hormones affect a lot of things.
What?
Yes. And when you don't eat certain things, you don't make hormones. So there's that too.
All righty.
Which creates imbalance, which creates dis-ease in the body.
And I do too. I remember in the 80s, everyone was eating low fat cakes that were pure sugar, so bad for you. And Wilford Brimley, remember, gotta eat your Quaker oats.
And that was not by accident, you guys. That was not by accident. We're not supposed to be low fat. Think about it.
And Michelle says, yes, they have laws against most of the U.S. pesticides here in Mexico, and GMO is a whole other issue. Billionaire farming is a mess. We didn't procreate, recycle, buy produce from organic farms, etc. We try, so yeah. Getting rid of dyes in the foods, yes. We try to watch some of that too when Shannon and I buy stuff. It's a little harder right now because we're kind of living out of the microwave, but we do try to be, conscientious. Before we left too, starting to look at what are there dyes in our food, and we've been trying to cut back and try not to buy stuff that we see straight out that's got a lot of dyes in it.
Like I said before, I'm pretty sure I said that on here. If you guys do one thing and one thing only, get rid of the seed oils, because that's what'll end up.
And Allison, I can't wait for you to start your channel, Shelby says.
Seed oils are
Like a
what's
lot of
going to take
people.
everybody down. And make no mistake, this whole next week or later or whatever, because I hear that from so many different people. The time's now. None of us are getting any younger.
And Shelby says, I've been waiting to watch someone who talks about this kind of stuff for years. So you do have, Allison.
Oh, I'll give you guys all kinds of channels that you can follow, like people that are like doctors that are really doing the good work, that really do know about food, because doctors, they don't know about food. They do not know about food. They know how to write up a prescription. That's what you go to the doctor for now, is for a prescription.
Yeah, whenever we watch
I hope
TV,
everybody realizes that. That's what you go to the doctor for, is a prescription.
It's like every week there's a new pill, new
right.
video.
That's what you go to the doctor for.
and they use all the old music, and they make it look like everyone's laughing. And as they're joking and having a good time, they're like, can cause, and they're
You
doing the
take a
wristless.
pill to mask your symptoms, but they don't get rid of the dis-ease.
Yep.
So whatever your illness is, you continue to have your illness. That's not how, that's.
Hi, Carolina. She says, so true, Allison. And Miss Moonlight said, I got rid of all seed oil stuff a while ago.
Good.
Yeah, it's good.
Good.
Yes, we do.
And again, even if people don't want to go to the extreme that I have, which is fine. And actually, people do whatever the hell they want. If you get rid of seed oil, you're essentially at the same time, you're going to get rid of Frankenstein food, right? Artificial food, stuff that comes in boxes and packages and plastic bags and everything else. Because if you're not eating seed oils, you're not eating any of that trash. You're not, because you can't separate the two. So by just doing that, you're coming back to whole food, even if you're still eating the damn grains, which you're not supposed to eat. Your body doesn't know what to do with it. You don't have the right digestive system to process it, whatever. Just getting rid of the seed oils alone will keep you alive longer, honestly.
Yeah, Selena says, I use the seed oil for my potions. There you go, girl. And Garnet says, doctors don't exist, not true doctors. You know, it's
You
more
go
just,
see a naturopath.
that's an option.
You can go see a naturopath.
All right.
But a lot of times, a lot of stuff that we end up with is how we eat. If you fix the way you're eating, a lot of the other stuff, not everything, will go away. A lot of it will go away. You'll get rid of all the inflammation for one thing, and that's the root of most disease.
And Garnet also says the palm oil, chopping down forests to grow palm oils and stuff. So they're damaging a lot of forests. And Miss Moonlight said, I've been eating a lot of shrimp this week. I love shrimp. So seafood is good for your fatty acids, right? Your omegas and stuff. So
Omega-3.
Yep. So I am at 31%. My little charging station here doesn't work on this table. We don't have an extension cord. So in short, Heather and Allison are going to have to wrap it up so that I don't lose power. But just really quick here.
And other things too, by the way. I mean, we could get into the whole thing about, but there's a lot of different meats have different benefits. It varies. So.
And Jonathan says, I can't eat boxed food anyway because of my food sensitivity to dairy and nightshades.
Yeah, nightshades are poison. Nightshades are poison, quite literally. I mean, they really are. They are. And just everybody's sensitivity is slightly varies person to person. Sorry, I'm wrapping it up, but I just had to say that. It's like, yeah. And it's like, you can't see. Yeah. Yeah.
And Michelle said, I love spraying avocado oil from MX on my skin post shower. I mix it with witch hazel and essential oils. Smells amazing.
Witch hazel is great. Yep.
Oh, I got to share that recipe, Michelle. You'll have to come on, Michelle, and join Allison and I on some night, and we can share all of our little recipes and stuff. Yeah, nightshades are like I love tomatoes, so I've been cutting back on tomatoes, but tomatoes, pasta sauces. What else is in the nightshade family? Potatoes.
I don't remember.
I think maybe potatoes.
I don't eat any of that stuff. So that's I think it's tomatoes. It might even be potatoes too. Purple, is it eggplant? Nightshade.
I'm not a fan of eggplant.
I can't remember, honestly. I'd have to look it up, and I'm happy to tell you guys, but you can easily Google it. But it sounds crazy, you guys, but plants, for the most part, it's just not, they're medicinal. Like, you can have them in small doses. Plants can't get up and run away like animals, right? So they have poisons. So it's a slow drip. Animals can eat them to some degree, what they're supposed to eat, like take a rabbit, right? Well, they have a different digestive system and they're supposed to eat different things. A lot of animals will only eat certain plants. They know what they're supposed to eat. But humans, we've kind of gotten in our own way and we've figured out how we could make stuff palatable. Like there's so many things that we have to do all this weird shit to just so we can eat it, right? Well, that means you're not supposed to eat it. It's a famine food. You can survive on it, but it's not optimal. And in fact, in a lot of cases, it's straight up poison.
Oh, wow.
Like people used to die from eating potatoes that had the eyes starting on them and like they have little sprouts around. That shit's poisonous. It's no joke. People have actually died from eating potatoes that started to root. Like die.
Wow. Jonathan says there's no escaping nightshades. Paprika is in everything. Tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant, bell
right,
peppers.
all the peppers. Yeah.
I love peppers. Ashwagandha.
Oh, there is escaping
tobacco,
it, Jonathan. I've done it.
and goji berries. So
I don't eat any of that shit.
We don't eat as much, but yeah, foxglove. Let's see.
He's right though. Was it? Yeah. It's yeah. And a lot of stuff is, you guys. So much stuff is. Look at what happens with peanuts with certain people. I mean, it's just like, wow.
We must have the same brain. Totally agree with everything you say, Allyson.
Think early man.
Jonathan makes his own food. Wow.
Anybody that believes in God or what happened or whatever, think about it that way. I'm not saying that's, but just to dumb it down and make it super simple. We were put here. What I mean by all that is that we were put here with a food source. Dial it all the way back. That's really all I'm talking about. And you don't have to take it that extreme. I mean, I just do it because it's easy and it really corrected all my issues, and and then I just don't have to think about it. But yeah. So, anyways.
Ooh, and rhubarb is poisonous.
Yes, a lot of stuff is. A lot of stuff is. And in fact, all right, let's say this one last thing. Inflammation from a lot of the stuff that we eat, it's cumulative. It's a slow drip poison. Think about that.
Let's see, Jonathan says veggies and protein are what we're meant to eat. And fat, right? that's a whole conversation. I mean, we're all different.
I'm not gonna, I know what I know. I've done years of research and I completely disagree. Yes, protein, yes, but the vegetables, no. Like I said, my blood work is beautiful. I haven't had a vegetable in my mouth in almost 4 years.
And people eat fiddleheads here and they're poisonous. I don't know what a fiddlehead is.
Lots and lots and lots of plants, if not most of them are.
Oh, it's a baby fern? Okay. Let's see. Heather, remember the Queen of Swords? I think that, see, I tell Allyson, when it comes to court cards, to me,
I'm Gemini rising, so
the Queen of Swords,
which is how you look. Your rising sign is how you look to the outside world.
But she is also Queen of Wands because she's very passionate, and wands are fiery, motivated and stuff. But for me, it's more strong with the.
And again, I don't mess around with this because I was very, very, very sick. It's no joke to me. And I've done my research, so I will defend it. Yes, because I do know what I'm talking about.
Have a good show with Bill. I'll try to pop in. She goes, love you too. Oh, we love you too, girl. And Garnet's like, yeah, look at the Eskimos. They lived off of fat, off the sea. And they've survived all these years. And people really cannot wait for your channel.
And I will say this one last thing. People can live, like Jonathan was saying, you can live on that. You absolutely you can. And everybody's slightly different, but it's not optimal. I mean, can you be healthy? Sure, depending, because everybody's slightly different, what they've been through and what choices they're making and blah, 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 blah. But there is another way. And I really do believe it's the way we were intended to eat, but it's certainly by choice. People can do whatever they want.
All righty. So
your life.
Monday, there may be a Sacred Feminine. Stay tuned. And I'm gonna put down a little bit right now because we may or may not get information about an apartment on Monday. But Nancy and I are talking about, so keep your eyes open. So people are still coming up with more questions. Is rice good? I think you said before, but you
It's
know
all
what?
sugar.
But the Asian folks, they've lived on rice and fish their whole life,
Right.
especially,
So
and they're
that's their
very healthy.
protein.
They're
And
very
then they
healthy.
have a lot of rice and that's their sugar. So that's their, again, that's their fuel, right?
Yeah. And
So, but
yes,
you
rice
don't
is
have to do
healthy.
that.
So all
It
right.
completely breaks down to sugar. It actually turns to sugar in your mouth. And again, you can run on sugar if you want to.
And let's see. Oh, thank you, Miss Moonlight. So any fun plans for the weekend, Allison, before we head out? Because I know you're
Not really. I'm gonna finish all of my reorganizing and going through and all that good stuff. And I am gonna be redoing a chair and a table, but I'll probably really do that this summer. But I'm gonna start getting all the supplies and all that good stuff.
sounds nice. It'd be nice to be able to get a place and get some new furniture myself as well. So everybody, thank you for joining Allison and I. We appreciate your support. I know there's a couple other shows on this evening, so be sure 999 Tarot with Bill. Selena's going to be on with him at 11 o'clock. Here it says 7, but it'll be 11, and be sure to pop in and say hi. I think Bobby and Karen Care Bear, Bard of Cards, are still doing their Taurus readings. So everybody, thank you again. Have a great weekend, and Allison and I will probably see you next Friday. Bye, everyone.
Have a good weekend.